Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions. Game over, series over, and the Red Sox are world champs again. And so are these fans. It hasn't happened at Fenway Park for 95 years. The Red Sox are world champions.
Boston organization has been well run for a long time now. From the top on down, here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series. 5-1 the final tonight. And the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
The Red Sox have won the World Championship. The Boston Red Sox beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1. They win the World Series 4-1. And the Red Sox become the first team in the 21st century with 4 World Championships. Can you believe it?
Welcome to another episode of the Pesky Podcast. This is a special bonus episode that my man DC and I have put together. This is going to be a monumental moment. And DC, first off, what's been going on with you real quick?
Not much, man. Just enjoying the time off, just watching some games, watching some NBA playoffs, some Sox games. Not too much, man. Hanging out with the kids. What about you?
And not bad. I'm really glad that I'm one game closer to the old, sweep of the Phillies that I predicted. So, but man, let's talk about a special moment we're going to be bringing together today, and let's bring back a really great guest we had a lot sooner than what we thought. So let's bring back Mr. Deven Marrero.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
What's going on, Deven? How you been doing?
Chilling.
I know, you agreed to come back on the podcast, but did you think it was going to be a week later?
Nah, definitely not a week later, but definitely was going to come back on.
Oh,
that's for sure.
To give a little feedback here, we had Deven on the podcast last week, and, we were discussing something that kind of was a trigger for him a little bit, where we were talking about his first home run ball. And, he described it perfectly. But when it came down to the question of, you have your first home run ball, right? Deven, what was your answer?
No chance. I got a foam ball instead.
Man.
The perks of being at Yankee Stadium. So beautiful.
But, hey, to sit there, and it was funny because after the episode aired, I had a DM at the Pesky Podcast, and I read it, and Deven, I have the father-son combination that has your first home run ball.
Let's go.
Let's bring him on. First, we're going to bring on the father, Mr. Scott Hammond, and then his son, Tomas Hammond.
How's it going?
Fellas, what's up?
How you doing? To meet you.
So 7 years in the making. Before we break down everything, let's watch this monumental moment.
I don't know how well that worked out.
Hit that thing so hard, video's too fast,
Oh, there it is.
There's the ball, yeah.
There's the tease right there. There it is. The tease.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Man, that was beautiful day, one I'll never forget.
There we go. There we go.
Boom. Use that short porch, baby.
Yeah, take advantage of it then. You're visiting, man.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. It's awesome.
Man,
That's
there
awesome,
it was. Brought back a lot of memories from you guys. So, Deven, well, what were you thinking? Let Tomas and Scott know, what were you thinking when the alleged ball got thrown back in?
I saw it like get thrown back in, like when I crossed home plate and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, sick!" They threw it back, and I didn't think anything of it because we're in the game and stuff like that. And then after the game, because after I got my first hit, they wrote like a whole bunch of funny stuff on my ball, like, "Hey, first hit, whatever," like bunch of stuff on there. So I was expecting that to sit in my locker when I got back.
Mm-hmm.
So I get back, and then they're like, they put the ball in my locker, but it was like a foam ball, like a softball. And they're like, "Dude, they didn't throw back your real ball." I was like, "No way." And then it was just like a funny thing. I was like, "Well, it's all right."
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was planned before you ever hit the ball. To be honest with you, we had, we're planners in our family. We just thought, if this ever happened, we need to make sure that we're prepared, because it was a big day for my son. We were in the Yankee Stadium because it was his 16th birthday. We flew all the way up from Las Vegas.
That's awesome.
And so I thought, you know what? Right, Tomas, we were in the stadium, we were walking around, and I saw that guy was selling baseballs, and I said, just in case we get a home run ball, Yankee fans are going to yell, especially if it's, hit by somebody from the Red Sox, and they yell for us to throw it back, and I really don't want to. So let's just buy a couple balls. And I had that green backpack. I remember that because I said, I'm going to put these two balls in the front, and if for some reason we get lucky and the ball gets hit out, then we'll put we'll put the other ball in the backpack, in the back, and there's another pocket. I said, and then we'll wait till everybody gets really upset, because they start yelling, they start chanting, throw it back, and they get into a frothy, angry sort of mob mentality. And so we made a big show of it. We reached in, grabbed that ball, and I hid the logo, so nobody knew there was a logo or anything like that. And I chucked it. If you look at the video, I actually threw it pretty far for an old guy, right?
Yeah, I was about to say that thing went a long way. I'm surprised they didn't sign you after. You know what I'm saying?
Especially a foam ball.
Yeah, especially
Right.
yeah. It had the Yankee logo on it and everything, and the adrenaline. It was just pure adrenaline. I threw it out there, and everybody was satiated. Everybody was like, "Okay," he threw it back out there. Yay! They all clapped, and I'm like, "Okay, I avoided death. We're good."
That's awesome.
And
That's
so
awesome. The plan worked.
It
Plan
did.
worked.
Well,
That's
up until
awesome.
it didn't, right? Up until it didn't work, and that was the middle of the ninth inning, I think. A security guard came around and said, "Hey, are you the guy that caught the ball?" And I looked around like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I don't want anybody to know like I still had the ball. So he's like, "No. I think you're the one that everybody tells me that caught the ball." And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." But it was when he said, "Look, it's the guy's first home run." And I said, yeah, I got it. And so I reached in, put it in my glove, because I don't want anybody to know I'm walking around with the ball. And so then I walked the security guard out into the concourse, and he got on the radio, a little radio on his shoulder, and he said, "Hey, I've got the guy with the ball." And then somebody said, "Hey, just get his information, and we'll get a hold of him later on, and we'll get the ball." They never called. They never got a hold of me. Again, I've been in the same house for years, same phone number for years. I mean, anybody can get a hold of me. I'm a political figure here in the state of Nevada, and so my phone number is everywhere. So nobody called me, and it wasn't the only time, was it, Tomas?
Not the only one. He went to a trip to Fenway, talked to their people, tried to get the ball back to you. I found out here that you're an Instagram kind of guy, but I messaged you on Twitter. We followed you on Twitter.
Oh.
We thought we got to try and get his attention, but to no avail. We followed you on Twitter. We followed a Red Sox fan on Twitter, and just trying to get you that ball, but no luck.
Hey, we're finally here. We're finally here.
Only 7 years later.
What
This is cool as hell, man.
This is I think I'd rather have it this way than just giving me the ball back. You know what I'm saying? This is pretty cool. There's a story behind it and a lot of meaning behind it. So I'm sure it was pretty special for you guys catching that ball too. So just as special as it was for me, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was one of the best presents he could have had because it's a story that keeps on going 7 years later, right?
That's awesome, man. That's super cool.
And I figured at some point you want it back. I'm not disparaging you. I just know that you didn't have like 300 home runs in the major leagues.
No, definitely not. Just shy of 300, you know.
So I think I looked it up one time, and I think that the ball I have represents about 18% of your home runs. So I thought, you know what, this guy's going to want this ball back at some point. And media, the technology being what it is, I figured someday it'll all catch up. And everybody comes through Las Vegas at some point. And so I figured, he'll
I come to Las Vegas a lot.
See, I knew it. You don't know it, but every time you came to Las Vegas, you were that much closer to your ball.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So, matter of fact, what made it funny actually was I think we were on our way home. My father lives in Long Island. He lives in Massapequa Park. So we got on the train to go back home that same night, and we were listening to highlights. We were watching that home run ball. We saw when he hit it, the porch, and I think it was the Nesson announcer said, it looks like he's throwing the ball back. It looks like Devin's going to get the ball. And, I was holding the ball at the time. It was in my hand on the train. I'm like, I look over at my son, Tomas, and I'm like, oh, no.
Got him. Got him.
He's not going to get that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
what a cool story. Super cool.
Yeah. So, we'd love to. We'd love to make sure you get that. I just never really wanted to send it until I knew exactly where. But when you're coming out again, we probably need to get together. I'm not there now. I'm in Carson City, Nevada, which is where our capital is. I'm part of the legislature up here. And Tomas he's moved on to he's in the law office in Provo, Utah. So we definitely will definitely get with you and get that back to you.
Yeah, man. I'll send you guys some stuff too. For doing all this and reaching out and still holding on to it and stuff. So I'll make sure you guys get compensated real nice. So I'll send you guys a couple of things.
Yeah. It was never about money. Believe me. I was going to give you the ball then. It was, I hate it when people are like, I'm going to hold out. I heard the story about the other guy. You guys were telling me about.
Yeah. Yoshida this year.
That's tragic. I'm like, how do you, I guess she doesn't go to the baseball games a lot. She just wanted a baseball. She wanted to hold on to it or something. And
that family did not want to give it up.
Yeah. They tried everything I heard, through the Nesson broadcast. Nothing. I'm like, man, dude.
What a fan. Hardcore fan right there.
You just took one look at the dad's face and you could tell he was not bending on anything. Like throughout the broadcast, you could see him and he's just sitting there like, nah.
That's not doing it. Well, but that's what pulled me. I mean, look, I'm a baseball fan, right? I've been to, it's been a long time. I'd never been to Fenway Park. Now I've been there about, I think 3 or 4 times. And so I'm a hardcore fan. Matter of fact, I'm a senator here in the state of Nevada. And my best friend in the Senate is another legislator who loves baseball. Her name is Roberta Lang. And, whenever we go to conferences or whatever, we always go to a baseball game and we try to hit 1 or 2, sometimes 3 baseball games a year. So when someone says, look, it's his first home run, it has meaning to me, but obviously it has more meaning to you, Devin, than it does to me because it's your first home run. I'm not going to keep something that means that much to somebody else. I mean, it certainly has meaning to me because I just love baseball. I love being connected to baseball, like Moneyball, right? Moneyball is like, you can't help but be nostalgic about baseball.
Yeah.
You can't help it. And so, matter of fact, we're sitting here, hopefully in the next week or so, contemplating whether or not we can make a deal and bring the Oakland A's to Las Vegas and make it the Las Vegas A's. And, for me, it's like, wow, this is
that's a must do. That's got to happen.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I think everybody in the A's organization knows it because they've already come to talk to me like, hey, you got your vote, right? And I'm like, I can't say yes or no because we haven't seen any of the details yet. But I certainly want to try.
That's awesome.
Well, hey, Scott, well, sit there and tell him, hey, you're not going to get my vote unless the A signed Deven to a contract, a lifetime contract.
Right.
Well, we can make it all part of the package right there.
That's sick. That'd be awesome. I love me some Vegas. That's for sure.
Oh, right. I mean,
great city. Great
don't
city.
you think the A's would do much better in Las Vegas than they are right now in the Bay Area, in the location they're in?
Yeah. I mean, the Oakland location's good. It's just what that org's done with, with the fan base. Like they kind of, because they used to have fans come to their games when they were good. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
when they had great players there for a long time. I heard Chris Bassett talk the other day, and he was just talking about how how passionate those Oakland fans are about the game and stuff, and like what they've done with the organization is the reason why, it's the fans aren't showing up. It's not because they don't love the game. It's like they really appreciate the game, and so it's sad to see them leave. But I've played in Vegas with the AAA team there, and it's a great crowd always. And if I know anything about Vegas, they're going to make a stadium that is state of the art and super sick. So.
They're talking to the folks who did the stadium in Seattle.
Oh, nice.
And then they want to make cool. What is that stadium the Rams play in LA?
SoFi.
SoFi, yeah.
SoFi.
And it's got that transparent roof.
Yeah.
So they want to do a retractable roof that's transparent, so you're letting light in all the time, so it won't feel claustrophobic, right?
They're going to do it big, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're going to do it big. Who did you play for when you were in Las Vegas? Was it the 51s or the Aviators? It wasn't the Aviators.
No, I played for Reno, and then I went back again. Yeah, I went back again with the Marlins AAA team.
Okay.
So I've been there a couple of times to play, and then I go every year in the off season to go be a degenerate, which is always great.
Yeah, which is that's why we built the city. So folks like you,
for people like us, suckers like me,
Yeah, you can leave your money
man, it's money well spent, as I always say. Good food, good atmosphere, great city, man.
Yeah, well, I'd love to when you come out. Love to do something. I'm pretty much connected to a lot of folks there.
Perfect.
Everybody, schools. We want to do it at a school. We can do it at a school where kids can come and meet a big leaguer. Just whatever we want to do. We'll talk about when you come out and make it a big splash.
For sure. Yeah, just hit me up on Instagram and we'll set it all up.
That'd be you, Tomas.
I'll take care of it.
Let's go, Tomas. Pops isn't all that with the Instagram. Let's go. We need you. We need you with the technology.
So it's funny because you're absolutely right, Deven. The technology does interfere with my life, but as a state senator, I think I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And probably a couple other ones, but I don't maintain it. I have other people do it because I'm not going to do this stuff.
That's the way to do it, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's a rabbit hole.
It is, right? Like you could get sucked into that all day. It's a time suck. So I'm out doing other things. Matter of fact, we have our softball game, our legislative softball game will be next week. We do the Senate versus the Assembly every year, every time we're up here, and so that'll be next week. We had our basketball game this past week. We got to do something.
Sweet. We'll do something for sure.
All right.
Sure.
Well, hey, I really appreciate how I was talking to DC about this whole thing, and as soon as Tomas sat there and sent me, the picture of the ball and everything, I was just like, man, I'm like, DC, we just started this podcast in February. We've come a long way where, we had Keith Volk on, we got Deven on. Now all of a sudden, we're part of, Deven's history now, hooking him up with his first home run ball. Cause I was like, DC, what are the chances of us not only having Deven on, us talking about his home run ball, but the people that have his first home run ball listening to our podcast to come full circle? Like, that is just, I probably have a better chance going to Vegas and hitting a jackpot with one quarter,
Yeah, man, it's a cool ass story, man. It's cool to be part of. I'm glad that you guys can get connected, get that ball back. It's really cool of you two too, man. I'll be honest with you, when he told me you guys reached out to him, or Tomas reached out to him on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it was, I was like, why is a Yankees fan listen to our podcast? But that makes sense. Like, you've been trying for 7 years to try to get this guy, get a hold of him, and he's on. That's just cool that you guys, took that time to listen to the podcast, listen to what he had to say, and then also, take the time to do this. It's really awesome, man. Yeah, I just love baseball. This is why, like, how can you not love baseball? You see stuff like this, like, not to be 100%. Cliche or anything, but like, this is just cool to see. Just really, just awesome to connect some good people, man.
Can I say one other thing? If I might take just a second of your time, I'm actually really, I don't see this as a father too often, and probably not enough, but I'm really proud that Tomas never actually gave up on this. He kind of pursued this, followed it. I mean, he knew what our goal was, but my wife and I are proud parents of 4 kids. We love our kids to death. And we tell, we're not ashamed of anything. We tell everybody, we're proud parents. We're adoptive parents. Tomas came into our family a different way, but that's what I love about Tomas, is that we got a chance to raise him. But he is the man who makes decisions and choices in life. And he just said, you know what, I'm just going to keep following this until we do it. When he was 16 and we wanted to do something nice for him, I'm a school teacher most of my life. My wife is a school teacher now, and yeah, I'm in politics. But let me tell you, gentlemen, politics in the state of Nevada is not giving me millions of dollars, despite what everybody thinks. That he keeps emailing me. It says, this guy's making millions of dollars. I'm like, no, we're not. It's a part-time job, and so we don't make a whole lot. And we thought, what, we just wanted to make do something good for Tomas. We surprised him with that trip. Actually, he thought I was going to Phoenix for some business trip. And we got to the airport and we gave him a hat, and he said, why am I getting a hat? Why am I getting an early present? And I said, well, I thought you might want to wear it when we go see the Red Sox play the Yankees. I mean, there's no better rivalry in all of sports. And to be able to give my son this opportunity, my kids have been big baseball fans because I am, but it's just kind of sponged off of me. And Tomas is that man who's made the right decisions in life. And I couldn't be more proud as a father.
Yeah,
awesome,
definitely.
Awesome.
I know myself personally, Scott, I got 2 kids. I got 2 stepkids. DC has a newborn child. He's also got a stepdaughter. Like, to instill and teach these values to our kids and see them like go forward. Scott, you raised a heck of a kid right here in Tomas, and like, it shows right here.
Yep. Never gave up.
It's a special, man.
Yeah, that's a testament to your parenting, to you and your wife. That's awesome.
And they taught me to hate the Red Sox. So the fact that I had to follow a Red Sox player for 7 years wasn't easy.
I'll make it worth it. Don't you worry. Hopefully we can turn you after this whole process. You know what I'm saying? Slowly but surely.
Like I said, we're just baseball fans. I'll go to any baseball game and cheer on teams and cheer on players. Sometimes it's about the player and just having that moment like you had. That was an important moment for you. And so for us to be able to help you come full circle and then have that moment, now it means something. The ball meant something before. I hope it means even more now.
100%. Really appreciate it, guys. This is super special, and honestly wouldn't have it any other way. So this is awesome.
Well, Tomas, thank you for being an outstanding young man. Scott, thanks for raising a young man with values instilled in him. Deven, thank you for just being one heck of a baseball player and being able to not hold a grudge for that baseball for 7 years.
Nah. Never, man. This is baseball, man. It's everything that happens is awesome. I hit the home run and I got videos to prove it, and this story is so much more special now that this all came into life this way. It's super cool to bring strangers together, and by one passion and one love, which is baseball, and it's super cool, and we'll make this moment more special, and I'll cherish this till the day I die, that's for sure. So I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you, Tomas and Scott.
Thank you.
Now, Devin, I have a couple small, quick questions. One,
What you got?
when I sit there and sent you that message on Instagram, what was going through your head?
I was like, no shot. It's been 100 years, but then I was super pumped. I was like, let's go, let's do this thing. I was super pumped. I was like, I lost hope, but I knew at some point it would work its way back to me, and it did. And no better way than this, two special people, and I'm glad that you guys got to be there for that special moment for me, and it was just as special for you guys, and that's super cool. And Pops, you still got an arm on you, man.
You should have seen me play basketball this past weekend. We had I felt like a young man again of 40.
Love that.
So, okay, guys, want to thank everybody. Tomas, don't stop here. Get on Instagram. Right there, his right underneath his name, that's the Instagram handle.
All right, I'll do it right now.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. But guys, Scott, Tomas, thanks for stopping by for completing this. Devin, a pleasure, like always, for having you come on. Just sit there, and when you get the ball, make sure you sit there and get the picture. Tag us all in it, for this moment.
For sure. Blow this one up, that's for sure.
DC, you have anything else you want to say?
No, I just want to thank all three of you for coming on. Obviously, Tomas and Scott, that's awesome for you guys to do that for Devin. Obviously, you spoke, Scott, about how you feel about Tomas. He obviously seems like a really, really cool dude, has those values instilled in him, from you and your wife. Really appreciate, doing that. I appreciate you holding on to that ball, Tomas, for as long as you did. That's pretty hard to do as a Yankees fan, for a Red Sox player.
I would have played catch at that ball a long time ago.
Absolutely, man. Just glad to be a part of this, man. This is some cool stuff. And I'm not going to lie, this is probably, I know we got to interview Keith Folk, which was probably one of the coolest things I ever did in my entire life. This is hands down my favorite podcast that we've done. And it'll probably be my favorite podcast that we've done going forward, for the rest of the time we do this. Just glad to meet some good people, Yankees fans, giving the ball back to a Red Sox fan. You can't ask for something better than that. So keep it up. Really appreciate you all doing that for us and doing that for Devin.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. And it's, I think when it comes to Tomas, every time everybody knows him here. I've been in state legislature now almost 14 years. And, when he met the first governor that I was associated with, Governor Sandoval, it's the first thing that Governor Sandoval always asks me when I see him. He's like, how's Tomas? He makes an impression on people because he is who he is. And so, you can't help. I remember one time somebody said, look, I can't take credit for all the good things that my kids do, because if I do, then I have to take credit for all the bad stuff. At some point, your kids have got to make their own decisions and the choices they make and the consequences that come with them. I'm just happy that he's in a place where he makes good choices and he's got great consequences. This is proof, right? This is a great story. He's always going to remember the choice that he's made over the last 7 years to try and get this ball back to Devin. And here it is, just to see Devin happy about it, to be on a podcast, be talking about it, this gift that we gave him at the age 16 just seems to keep on giving.
Absolutely.
Tomas, you want any final words, Tomas?
It's an honor and privilege, Devin, to finally talk with you. And regardless, I always wanted my first baseball player I met would be either Derek Jeter or Aaron Judge, but this is probably better, getting your ball back and having this this long-standing story that will finally have an end to it. So it's been a really cool experience, and I can't wait to get this ball to you.
Awesome, man. Awesome. No, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys for making this happen, and especially Tomas and Scott. So special. The story is so awesome, and I'm glad we got to record this and put this out to the world so people can see, that baseball is love. You know what I'm saying? And Yankees fans, Boston fans, we're supposed to hate each other, but one thing we love is baseball, and this is a true testament to that. So it's super cool. I'm so thankful for you guys, and I'll make this just as special as it is for me, for you guys as well. So thank you so much.
Well, guys, thanks for stopping by. Tomas, make sure you keep listening to the podcast because
you just never know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
If the Red Sox keep winning and the Yankees keep losing, I don't know if I'd be able to listen to the podcast and watch Red Sox highlights all. We'll see what happens. But.
We'll change the intro for you, you know, so you don't have to listen to that. We'll make it a little bit shorter, you know.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just throw some 2004 ALCS highlights, you know, for the open for you.
I'm trying to keep them as friends, man. I'm trying to keep them as friends.
Oh, my bad.
Because, like, you know, if this does happen in Vegas and we're all out there, it'd be cool to catch a game together in a couple of years. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You never know.
Something to think about.
For sure.
Yes, it will be because I think I have a hotline to the president by that time. I think I probably could get you some good seats.
Oh,
perfect.
It'd be cool to see everybody, meet everybody.
Well, hopefully Devin's working for him by that time, or you know, he's around.
That'd be sick.
He's gonna get that call soon. I feel it
for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for guys stopping by. Make sure you follow our YouTube channel. You know, follow the podcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify. I am the Ritt. He is DC. We've got our good friend Deven, Scott, and Tomas. See you guys next time on the Pesky Podcast.